Welcome back to Brand Champions, brought to you by Teal, the agency. I'm Howard Wolpoff, your host. We're talking about brands, the strength of a brand, and how you can make the best brand possible. And to join me in this conversation, I have my co-host Janine Hogan. And Janine, welcome to this conversation.
Thank you, Howard.
So, having the right brand is very important. How are people figuring out the best direction, the best questions to ask in creating their brand?
Yeah, it's a great, insightful question. I think it all starts with the values that the brand embodies, who they want to be known for or about, and then also really getting very specific about who they're serving. So their target audience is always going to be one of the main factors for how we are shaping a brand and how we want to communicate to that target audience.
Yes, having a confused audience is really going to make it very hard for that brand to really resonate in any way, shape, or form.
It's almost impossible.
Exactly. So to add to this conversation, we have our guest. We have Hans Lagerweij from Flying Ducthman Consultancy. And Hans, welcome to our conversation.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. So let's talk a little bit more about brands. What kind of questions are you asking clients that are coming to you to help make sure you know what their story is and how to visualize it within a brand?
Well, I always start by figuring out what's the customer value proposition. And that sounds some difficult words, but how do they bring value to their customers? How do they differentiate in the market? What are their USPs, unique selling points? And in general, what I found is that we have some beautiful brands around, but not always well defined how they differentiate in the market.
It's very key that people understand that. You have to make sure that there's a resonating going on. So how are you working with brands to make sure that the statements that they want to make or that you're suggesting really are powerful and getting a response?
Yeah, good point. So as a consultant, I start off just by asking questions. And the thing what is important in companies is brands are usually managed by a marketing department, but actually if you talk about a brand should live in the full organization. So I like to involve also some key contributors from other departments as well, especially those that have the contact with customers, which could be sales, which could be operations. I'm really first trying to get a good picture. Okay, what are the values of the brand? How does it stand out? If that is well defined, what I also like is to look at again a nice concept, the customer touch points. So all the touch points that a company, that a brand has with customers. Do we represent the brand in the right way? Do we, do we communicate consistently to our audience? And finally, also, do we stand out? Do we differentiate? Every touch point with a customer is a communication opportunity. Is an opportunity to sell more, upsell, cross-sell, new products, sell your products for a longer time. So I like that detail once you clearly have defined what your brand stands for.
Yeah, something really resonated with me that you just said, Hans, and I'd like you to talk a little bit more about maybe your process in helping those departments get aligned with what it is that the brand is embodying and how they want to communicate with their customers.
Yes, a good point. So what a lot of consultants like to talk about is brand strategy. And I always say, yeah, there should be a company strategy. What does the company want to achieve? And your brand is in the end a plan and a part from that business plan, from that business strategy. you should not have a separate brand strategy that is loose, that is separated from what the company wants to achieve. So um, so I'm always I like to go one step higher. What does the company want to achieve? What is its key objectives for the next couple of years? What is its vision? And how does then the brand plan fit into that? And you make a right point that I like to, and I think it's important to involve as many people as possible in an organization, because if you look to strategy, it's actually quite shocking. I got some facts from, not from myself, but from important, well-respected research bureaus that said that 95% of an employees are unaware or do not understand their company strategy. 20% of global workers are not engaged at work, and engagement comes from understanding where a company goes, understanding where what the purpose is of an organization, understanding what the purpose is of the brands that you sell. So I always try to highlight the importance of involving as many employees and as many team members as possible, while at the same time having an efficient and quick process.
Hans, it's very clear that you really have it down pat what a company needs to do to develop their brand, and with great detail and focus, which is great for more people. Should be giving you a call to check out what you have available with your services. But we really thank you for coming on and joining us today.
All right, thank you, Howard.
And thank you all for joining us as well. Having that right brand, having that right statement, having the right detail behind developing the brand is so very important. Make sure that you are covering all your bases when developing your brand or your rebrand, whatever the timing may be. But go out, have a great rest of today, and we will see you next time.